morning, everyone. It's been a minute since I've done a video on here, so I apologize for the long gap of time. I've had a lot going on with getting a new job. I work as a chiropractic assistant now, and I also have switched schools to Kansas State University online, pre-dietetics, moving to the dietetics program and moving forward from there. But I am making a commitment to posting one class, at least one class a week. So I will be posting that on my Instagram and my Facebook page, and then of course on the YouTube. So you can subscribe to my YouTube channel to be updated or watch on the social media as well. Today we're just going to do a nice gentle stretch class, and we're going to get started in our child's pose. But before we get started, I like to use props. If you've been in my class, you know I like props. If you have two blocks, that's great. If not, you can use one block. You can use a water bottle or anything that's sturdy. And at the end, when we use our props, you can also roll up a blanket or use a nice pillow as well if you don't have blocks. So we will get started, set those over to the side, and get started in our child's pose. And that's big toes touching, knees can come in close, or you can take them wide, whatever's comfortable. Hips sit back. Fingers reach forward, and your forehead can rest on the ground. Maybe bend the elbows, place the hands on top of each other, or maybe even put a block under your forehead. We're just going to take a few moments to get settled, take some deep breaths here. Nice big inhale through the nose. Nice big exhale out the mouth. And inhale through the nose, fill your belly, fill your lungs, let your belly drop. Exhale, let go and relax. We're going to take 5 more rounds of breath here. And throughout class, try and focus on your breath. Thoughts of your day, thoughts of your weekend, things that happened in the past may pop into your mind, and that's normal. We can't just completely shut our minds off, but you can let those thoughts go and bring your mind back to your breath. Maybe even saying to yourself, inhale, exhale. Or you can say it out loud if you're by yourself. It's okay. One more round of breath here. And a big exhale. Fantastic. Gently rise up into tabletop position, bringing wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, spine comes nice and long. As you inhale, let your belly drop down to the mat, head and hips towards the mat, head and hips rise. And as you exhale, press down into the earth, arch your back up to the sky. Cat-cow. Feel free to take any variations that you would like of this little flow. Some people like to sit their hips back, sway them side to side, or anything else that feels good. We're going to take 2 more rounds of breath here. This is also a really great little flow to do if you sit a while, if you're having some low back pain. It just kind of stretches out that back, gets some movement going in there. One of my favorites. On your next inhale, find your way back into that tabletop position. Again, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, spine is nice and long. And on your next inhale, press down into your left hand and sweep your right arm up and out to the side. And then exhale, sweep that arm underneath, but don't settle in just yet. Inhale, sweep that arm back out and up. Exhale, slide it underneath. Maybe bending the left elbow. One more time, inhale to sweep it up. Exhale, slide it underneath, and this time pause here, maybe letting your shoulder and the side of your head settle into the ground. That left hand can stay here, reach forward, or wrap around your low back. Whatever is comfortable. We're going to take 3 more breaths here. Maybe think of pressing down into the back of your arm and the back of your hand, rooting down into the ground, creating a little bit different energy. 1 more breath here. Gently bring that left hand back to the ground, lift yourself up, sweep the right arm up and out one more time, and then exhale back into that tabletop position. And we'll switch sides. Press down into the right hand, left hand sweeps up. Exhale, slide that arm underneath. Inhale to open back up again, sweeping towards the sky. Exhale, bring it in. One more time, inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, slide that arm underneath. And pause here. And again, that right hand can be here, reach forward, whatever is comfortable for you. Maybe think of pressing into the back of the arm and the hand, keeping that arm engaged for a little bit different energy here. Then gently bring that right hand back to where it was. Press yourself up, sweep the left arm up and out. Find your way back into that tabletop position. On your next inhale, right leg sweeps back behind you. Plant the ball of your foot and take a moment here to just press into your heel a bit. Maybe even push yourself away with your hands. Maybe you feel a nice stretch in your calf or your Achilles tendon, or maybe even in the sole of your foot or somewhere else. And then gently release that pressure. As you exhale, sweep your leg over to the left side. Maybe glance over your shoulder. I'm a little limited in space here. And then inhale, sweep that leg through center and bring your knee towards your elbow. Exhale, sweep it back over to the left. Inhale, come back through center, knee to elbow, and that foot can stay down. It doesn't have to stay elevated. One more time, sweep it over to the left. Then bring it back through center to the knee. And then gently step that foot inside of your right hand. Tuck your left toe a little bit and scoot that knee back. Feel free to roll your mat or put a little cushion under that knee if it's uncomfortable. Coming into a nice slow lunge. We're going to be here a few breaths, so you can bring it up, maybe push into your hip flexor, maybe take a twist, reaching back, keeping your knee in line with your toe, maybe even bending that back knee if you're feeling steady. Bending that back knee and reaching back for your foot for a little bit extra quad and hip flexor stretch. One more full breath here. If you grab that foot, gently release it and come back to center. Lengthen out the right leg, flexing the foot, keeping the hips square and elevated, coming into a nice half split. So lots of options here. You can bend this knee for less intensity. You can rise up to here. You can take your blocks, bring them here, maybe reach forward. Also, a good option is to walk your hands to the outside of that leg. Again, keeping your hips nice and square. We're going to take one more breath wherever you're at. And then gently come back into that nice half split and come forward into that lunge again. You can set the blocks to the side if you use those. And then we're going to come into a kneeling warrior two. So you're going to take that left leg, point your toes back to the right side, walk yourself around, and then come on up. Arms come into a T shape. So nice kneeling warrior two, leaning into that leg just a little bit. And again, feel free to cushion that knee if you need to. Bring the right arm down, maybe to a block or the ground. Left arm can come to your ear. Take a big inhale and a big exhale. And then come all the way up, arms to a T. Sweep that right arm up and over. Left hand might come to your thigh or block or to the ground. Gently come back into that T shape. And then heel toe the right foot out just a little bit so your leg is long. You can have toes pointing to the side or to the front, whatever's comfortable. And again, take that right hand down to the ground or a block. Left hand reaches up, maybe arm to ear. Come back into your T shape. Sweep the right arm up and over, left hand to your thigh or to the ground. Gently come back into that T shape. Turn your toes to face forward if they're not there already. And then let me scoot up just a little bit here. Then you're going to sit your hips back. And you can keep your hands right here if this is comfortable. You can grab a block. Maybe walk your hands or your block forward, reaching as far as you can. If you'd like a little more intensity here, walk your hands or your block over towards your right foot. Take one more breath here. Walk yourself back to center, and then gently rise on back up. Good, and then you're going to heel toe the right foot in. Toes turn out to the side again. Hands come down to frame your foot. Turn the left toes back behind you. Tuck the left foot. Find your way back into down dog. Take a couple breaths here to pedal it out. So down dog doesn't have to look like this. You can have knees bent, heels can be lifted. Whatever feels right to you. We want to make sure you're hugging your elbows in and have a nice long spine. Tailbone tilts up and back a bit. Spine stays long and jaws relaxed. On your next inhale, gently lift your heels, lower your knees down to the ground, and find that tabletop position. Left side's turn. So left leg reaches back behind you. Plant the ball of your foot. Push into your heel, maybe push into your hands a bit. We're going to take one more breath here. Then gently release that pressure. And as you exhale, sweep your leg over to the right side and maybe glance over your shoulder. Inhale, sweep that leg through center, knee to elbow. Exhale, sweep it back through center over to the other side. Good. Two more just like that. And again, that foot can stay on the ground. It doesn't have to rise up. Sweep it back into the side. And one more time. Good. Take that leg back behind you. And then bring that foot to the inside of your left hand. Maybe tuck that right toe and scoot your knee back. And rise up into a lunge. So again, lots of options here. You can stay here pressing into that hip flexor. You can reach your arm back and twist. Make sure your knee's in line with your toe and your hips stay square. Maybe reaching back for the split. Maybe taking a block, bringing it under your shoulder to help you with some support. One more breath wherever you're at, whatever feels good for you. Gently release that foot if you have it. And then you're going to lengthen out the left leg into that half split. Keeping the hips square and elevated. Foot is flexed, knee can be soft. You can be up here. Bring it forward. Maybe take both hands to the outside of the left leg for a little bit different feel. One more breath here. Gently come back into that half split and then back into your lunge. Blocks can come to the side. You're going to turn the right toes to the left and walk yourself around to the right. I had to think about that for a minute. And then, here we go. Coming into that kneeling warrior 2, option to have a block here. Arms come out into a T. Lean a little bit to the right or left, and then take that left arm down to the ground or maybe a block. Right arm comes to the sky or arm to ear. As you inhale, come back up to center. Then right hand comes down to your leg or the block or the ground. Left arm towards your ear. Rise back up, arms into a T. Heel toe that left foot out just a bit. Toes can face to the side or forward. And then sweep that left hand to your shin, a block or the ground. Rise back up, arms into a T. Right hand comes to your thigh, a block or the ground. And rise back up into your T. Turn your toes to face front. Sit your hips back. You can stay here. You can walk your hands forward. or block, or maybe even take it over to the left side, taking a couple breaths here. Remember, you can always try something. If it doesn't feel good, you can just back off, maybe bring it to center or rise up a bit. Be sure to listen to your body. Everybody's body is different. And then gently come back to center if you went to the side, and rise up. Hips lift up, heel toe that left foot in a bit, toes turn to face the side, and then go ahead and come into that low lunge. Blocks come to the side, plant your hands, tuck your right toe, press back into that down dog. Take a full breath here. Think of relaxing your jaw, relax your tongue. And on your next exhale, gently walk your feet forward towards your hands, bringing them a little bit wider than your hips. Good. Think of rooting down into all four corners of those feet and then letting your upper body relax. So from your hips all the way down to the spine, down to the crown of the head, the arms down to the fingertips. Just let them hang and relax like a noodle. You can soften your knees if that feels good. Maybe let your head rock side to side, roll through your feet. We're going to be here 3 full breaths. Sometimes this is a hard pose to do and to think about letting that upper body relax. So a lot of times I'll see people here, go ahead and relax and release. Maybe even grab a block for a little support. Let the spine lengthen out, starting to let go of any tension or tightness. And on your next inhale, slowly roll up, stacking your vertebra one on top of the other. Nice and slow, really rooting down in through your feet. Letting your head come up last. Shrug the shoulders up and back a few times, open up the chest. Take your hands to your hips. Step your right foot back behind you. Turn to the right. All 10 toes face the right side. You can have toes straight ahead or you can turn them out of it. Take your arms nice and wide or take your hands to your hips. Lengthen up through the spine and think of keeping your spine nice and long as you hinge forward at your hips. They gently press back. Hands come down either to a block or the ground. And take a couple breaths here if you want to kind of bend and lengthen the legs, if you want to heel toe them out of it. Reach for your ankles, whatever feels good here. And you can always put a little softness, a little bend to your knees if the hamstrings or low back are feeling pretty tight. Let's take one more breath. And then we're going to gently turn the heels in just a little bit and toes out. We're going to do one of my favorites. I call them ninjas. So you're going to rise back up, hands come to flat back, hands come to your block or to the ground. Walk your hands or your block towards your right foot, bending that right knee, finding what I call your sweet spot. So that might be here, your heel might pop up, maybe you rotate that left foot and your toes come up, maybe your hips sink down really low. So again, everybody's body is different and it's different every single day. So listen to your body and do what feels good today. Nice stretch, but not sharp or painful. We're going to take one more inhale here. One more exhale. And on your next inhale, start to lengthen out that right leg. Bring yourself through center. Exhale to the left side. Same thing this side. Bending that left knee, finding that sweet spot on this side. And it may look or feel different than the other side. That's all right. We'll take one more full breath here. And then we're just going to move with our breath. So as you inhale, come back through center. Exhale to the right side. Take your time, move with your breath. Nice and slow, nice and gentle. Take it one more time each side at your pace with your breath. And friends, please reach out and message me, email, through Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, anything like that. Let me know anything that you would like to learn, a class that you would like, if there's something you've been working on or you'd like to try, let me know and I can maybe do a class with that, and hopefully that'll help you out. Bring your hands underneath your gaze to block or the ground. Lift halfway up to a flat back. Heel toe your feet in just a little bit. Hands come to hips and rise up. Turn your right toes to face, your left toes to face the front, right foot steps up to meet left. And left foot steps back, and then turn to the left side. Wide-legged forward fold on the other side. Good. Arms out to the side or hands to your hips, gently hinge forward. This time you can keep your toes facing forward or bring them out just a little bit. We're going to come into a nice twist. So you can use that block. It's a great support here for a twist. You're going to take your left hand, place it underneath your left shoulder on the block or the ground. Lift halfway to a flat back, and then right arm comes to your hip, the sky, or wraps around your back. So you want that shoulder to stack over your wrist. A nice flat back here, trying to get the hips nice and square. If you wrapped your arm around your back, reach it up to the sky. And let that hand come back down, right wrist under your shoulder, nice flat back, left hand to your hip, to the sky, or wrap around your back. One more breath here. And then inhale to reach up to the sky. Exhale, bring that hand down. We're just going to move with our breath. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhale, let that hand come down, wrist under your shoulder. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale, let that hand come down. One more time, each side. Nice little twist, and again, that hand can come to your hip if that's more comfortable for you. And bring it down. And one more. And bring it down. Good. Bring your fingertips underneath your gaze. Lift up halfway to that flat back. Hands to hips and rise up. Toes turn towards the front. Step up to meet your foot. Inhale to reach up. Exhale. Gently sit down. Bringing your hips about midway on your mat. Making sure you have your blocks by your side. We're going to gently roll down onto our back. Good. Bring your feet nice and flat. Knees are bent. And we're just going to gently lift our hips, place a block, or if you don't have a block, you can take a blanket, roll it up, or a pillow, whatever feels good. You want to place it under your low back, so just above your glutes to that nice low back area. Gently lift your shoulders, shrug them back, supported bridge. If you feel like you need a little bit more stretch, a little more release, you can lift up and put that block a little bit higher. If that's too much, you can bring it back down. You can stay here, supported bridge. You can lift your legs up for a waterfall. You can also take your legs nice and long, letting the hips release, maybe toes open up. This one is my favorite here. We're just going to take a few breaths here. Nice deep breaths. This is also really great if you have some low back pain or soreness. You can take this nice supported bridge and just let the gentle pressure of that block release the muscles a little bit more. I like to lift the chest and shrug the shoulders back. It opens up the chest a little bit here. And on your next inhale, gently bring your feet back to the mat if they're not there already. Lift your hips, slide that block out to the side, and we'll come back to that in a little bit. You can bring your knees in for a little hug, maybe rock side to side or draw some little circles with your knees. Take about 2 more breaths here. On your next exhale, let your right foot come down to the mat. Left ankle comes in front of your thigh, letting your knee and your hip open up, flexing that left foot for figure 4. So try and keep that foot flexed just like it's pressing down into the earth to keep your leg more active. Arms come out to the side, nice and long, or you can bend them. And as you exhale, let your legs fall over to the left side. Inhale, bring them back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the left. One more time, bring them back to center. And over to the right. And then pause here for a couple breaths, taking a nice twist. If you'd like a little more stretch, you can let that knee fall forward. Maybe take your gaze over your shoulder. One more breath here. And gently come back to center. Keeping your legs in that figure 4, keeping your left foot nice and flexed. You can stay here, or you can bring your legs in towards your belly. Try and let your shoulders stay nice and relaxed on the mat, as well as your hips. So you can stay here. If you are able, maybe you can grab your thigh, maybe not. Just take a couple breaths. And then gently let that right foot come down to the ground. Left foot comes down as well. Lift up that right leg and bring your ankle in front of your left thigh, keeping that foot nice and flexed. As you exhale, let your legs fall to the right first, and then inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale back to center. And over to the right, and back to center. Exhale to the left, and pause here. And again, feel free to let that knee fall forward. Maybe gaze over your right shoulder. Or if these just really aren't comfortable, you could take another twist. I do have a post up on my Instagram channel about supine twist. So supine just means laying on your back, different ways to do these twists for what might be more comfortable for you. And I'm also doing a yoga pose challenge. If you're on Instagram or Facebook, you can follow me on either one. And every day I got this cool yoga dice kit. Let's go ahead and come back to center. And then go ahead and bring those legs into your chest if you'd like, or keep them right here, keeping that foot nice and flexed. So I got this yoga dice kit, and it's 4 dice with a pose on each side. Every morning I roll the dice. I roll one die, I see what the pose is, I'll post it, and then I'll do that pose and talk a little bit about it. And then feel free to do that pose as well. Post it on your social media. You can tag me, you can hashtag yoga pose challenge, whatever you like. Go ahead and let that foot come back down. Release the right leg and set that foot down. Feel free to bring the knees in for another little hug if you'd like. We're going to take a couple breaths before we settle into a supported heart opener for our Shavasana. So for this, you'll use either a bolster, a rolled up blanket, you can use a foam roller, or your 2 blocks. And after I get you settled in, I'm going to go ahead and you can go ahead and turn off the video and then get back settled in, I guess. Didn't really think about that one. But that way it doesn't switch to another video for you, and you can take as long as you'd like in your Shavasana to gently rest. So for this, if you have blocks, you're going to take one block the long way below your neck, out to your shoulder blades, and lay down. And then your other block is going to come to that second height behind the back of your head. And you may have to play around with see how that feels. If you're using a bolster or a pillow or a rolled up blanket or a foam roller, you'll want whatever you're using to come right here to your low back. We'll just pretend like this is one of those. And then gently lay down. And whichever position you choose, you're going to take the arms nice and wide. Legs can be long or knees bent. And you want to let your arms kind of melt open, everything to open up. And before you fully settle in, you'll want to soften your gaze or close your eyes. And try and keep your focus again on your breath. Just any thoughts popping into your head, just let them go, release them, let them float away, and try and bring your mind back to your breath in your body. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Please take as much time as you need in that final rest, that Shavasana. Nice deep breaths. I hope to see you guys soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Peace and love.